बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। इय्याका नअबुदु व इय्याका नस्तईन। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मदिन व अला आलि मुहम्मदिन व बारिक सल्लिम व सल्लि अलैहि। Dear colleagues, today I am going to tell you about the normal ultrasound landmarks for illustration of the hernia. So first, we talk about the abdominal hernia. First we place the probe in the epigastric region. Here we can see that this linear echogenic line, which is linea alba. If there is a defect below, this is the peritoneum, and just below is the peristaltic bowel loops. So if there is defect in this linea alba, then there would be the herniation of the viscera like bowel loops, and also this is the peritoneum, and this is the fat between the linea alba and peritoneum. This is the fat. So this fat can herniate, which we call it periperitoneal fat, and this is the peritoneum. So if the bowel loops herniate, we can say that the segment of bowel loops have herniated through the defect. However, this is the normal one. So when we move towards the how we can check for the herniation, we ask the patient for the Valsalva maneuver. If the hernia is palpable, then there is no need for the ultrasound. The question arises when the hernia is not palpable and surgeon is feeling difficulty. How we can differentiate whether there is hernia or not. So then the ultrasound plays a role. So now I am going to tell about the normal landmarks, ultrasonographic landmarks for the hernia. So I have already told you about the epigastric hernia. When we go downward to the umbilical region, if there is a defect in the umbilical or periumbilical region, we call it umbilical or paraumbilical hernia. Other is the Spegelian hernia. Spegelian hernia. And how we differentiate this one? Usually the Spegelian hernia is the defect in the semilunaris, linea semilunaris, which lies between the rectus abdominis muscle and the oblique, medially rectus abdominis and the laterally the rectus oblique muscle, rectus not oblique muscle, external internal. So how to identify the rectus abdominis, linea semilunaris and external or internal oblique muscle? So we place the probe in a transverse way, just lateral and inferior to the umbilicus, and we identified the rectus abdominis muscle. This is the rectus abdominis muscle medially, and here we locate the inferior epigastric artery. First, our job is to locate the inferior epigastric artery. Here we can see that this pulsating, this pulsating artery is inferior epigastric artery, which is lying just inferior to the, just posterior or inferior to the inferior aspect of rectus abdominis muscle. And then we moves laterally. This is the inferior epigastric artery. So then we moves laterally, and here we can appreciate that the entrance of the oblique muscle, and here is the rectus abdominis muscle, and this is the point linea semilunaris. This one is the point where the hernia can occur, Spagelian hernia. So first we identify the inferior epigastric artery, moves laterally following the rectus abdominis muscle. When we just see the external oblique, so the transition point or meeting point between the rectus and the oblique is the area called linea semilunaris. Here the Spagelian hernia can occur. So here we can ask the patient to take the Valsalva maneuver. What is the Valsalva maneuver? To increase the abdominal pressure, intra-abdominal pressure in any way. So ask to take the deep breath, abdomen को फुला लें, खांसी करें, just like this. अम्मा पेट को फुकाओ ज़रा, ज़ोरदार फुकाओ. So this is the point where we are not feeling any herniation. No patient has coughed and no herniation has been seen. So this was the normal description of the Spagelian hernia. How can we locate this one? So again, I am now tracing the inferior epigastric artery. Here is the inferior epigastric artery. Just at the inferior aspect of the rectus abdominis muscle. So now we move downward to follow this inferior epigastric artery. Downward and downward, downward, downward and downward, 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 downward. This is coming downward until we reach the femoral vessel, where it joins the femoral vessels. Inferior epigastric artery joining the femoral artery, and just lateral to the these inferior epigastric artery. This is joining. So just lateral to this one. This is the region where the induct hernia can occur. This is the region just lateral to the, this is the inferior epigastric artery, and lateral to this one, where the deep ring of the inguinal canal occurs. So here we can appreciate the indirect inguinal hernia. What is the deep ring? It is the defect in the fascia transversalis. So when we ask the maneuver, Valsalva maneuver, the indirect hernia will occur just lateral. This one is the inferior epigastric artery, just lateral to this inferior epigastric artery. And direct hernia occurs medial to, which is the defect in the anterior abdominal wall, not through the deep rings. So this is the inferior epigastric artery, femoral vessels, and here is the another landmarks just medial to this one, inferior epigastric artery, is the Hazelbach triangle, which is the defect for the direct hernia. So let this one just superior and lateral, lateral and inferior is the inguinal ligament. So between these area, this is the Hazelbach triangle, which hernia if occurs in this region, it will push the inferior epigastric artery anteriorly, not towards this one, not towards lateral. So in direct hernia from this region, direct hernia from this Hazelbach triangle, that will push the inferior epigastric artery anteriorly. So these are the anatomic landmarks for the famous epigastric hernia, paraumbilical hernia, Spagilian hernia, indirect inguinal hernia and direct inguinal hernia. Thank you very much.